Hi folks, welcome back to another PHP tutorial. This time I'm going to be covering sessions, what sessions are and how they are used. For the most part, most of you probably got into PHP development because you want to create a user-based website. You want to create something where people have to log in, you have restricted information, or you just want some kind of shopping cart, something along those lines. Sessions and cookies are all used for this purpose. In order to create a session, you use the session underscore start method, and that'll generate a session in PHP. You always want to have this at the very beginning of every script that you need a session, and it cannot be after something is output to the screen. So if we were to put hello up here, outside of our PHP script, this would get processed to the browser before this PHP script actually gets processed. And we don't want that. We need this session start to be the very first thing that happens. So we get session start, and I'm just going to use the include file that I created last time in my includes video. So I will create a link to that for those of you who may want to watch it. So we've got our includes once, and we are going to do our process login. So that's the first thing. It's going to check to see if data was submitted, and then if it was, it's going to process that information. So now we need to create a way to check if the person is logged in. We're not going to be connecting to any database or anything like that, but as soon as someone submits information from the login form, we're going to technically assume that they're successfully logged in. What we need to do is we need to use the display login form method to show our form, but we also need to make sure that the person has not created or has not already logged in, because we don't want to display the form twice. So what we need to do is we need to do if $_ session, and this is a global variable, or a global array, or super variable I should say, and session contains all of our session information, and setting information, which we're going to get to here in a minute, is pretty easy, but this is the way that we get information back from that session variable. So we're going to check if the person has logged in. If they have, we're going to greet the user, which is a new method that we're going to be creating. Otherwise, so else, we're going to display the login form. So this should take care of all of our code on the index page. Let's go over to our includes.php piece, and we are going to start in the process login piece. So we have our username and our password variables set, but we want to create session information or session variables for those. So we're going to create a username session variable, and we're going to set that equal to what the username that was passed in. And we're going to do the same thing for password. It's equal to $password. And we're going to do one last one for logged in. So that way we can check if the person has logged in. And we're going to set that equal to true. So now we have all of our session information getting set here, but we need to make our session variable, or our session needs to be created before we do that. And there may be a chance that the process login may have already been created, or information may have been sent out to the screen, so we don't want to have that session start in that form. The last thing we want to do is create a function called greet user, and we are going to echo out hello with a space followed by the session username, and then followed by how are you with a question mark. So that is our greet user. Now this should be everything for our script here. If I go back to my index.php and go back to my browser, refresh, I get my login form. I'm going to log in as Nicholas. I'm going to do 1234 as my password, and I'm going to send that information over to my browser to get processed. So as soon as I hit send, we're going to get two things. We're going to get username of Nicholas and then our password, which is part of our process login, which I'm actually going to take that out. And then we're also going to get hello Nicholas, how are you? So before I forget, I'm going to take that echo statement out of my includes, and we just get hello Nicholas, how are you? Now, in order to change my information, I really need to clear my session information. What I do is I hit Control-Shift-Delete. That'll clear the data on Google Chrome, or on a Mac, it's Command-Shift-Delete. And then just hit this Clear Browsing Data button. And then go back, and you should have a form that can be filled in. So if I were to do David and 5545 as a password, again, not connected to any database, I hit send and it says, hello David, how are you? So this is the basics of session information. I'm going to cover cookies in another video because it is a little more, well, it's not more complicated, but there is a different approach. So I'll cover that in another video.